Welcome to Gummies for Grown-Ups with Martin Andelman, where we explore the world of THC gummies with insight, purpose, and a hint of humor. Dive into the science, legality, and benefits of gummies. Let's get enlightened.
Hi, this is Martin Andelman from Deltrium and Gummies for Grown-Ups, the podcast. And I wanted to talk to you today because coming up, there's a couple of things coming up. One is that the Alternative Expo product show is coming up in Miami Beach this next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Deltrium will be there. So if you're planning on going to the show, look for us. We will have a booth and we'll have all our products on display, and we'll be talking about our dosing algorithm and our gummy cutter and everything else. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're looking at a market that is growing dramatically. Okay, dramatically. We just saw this, and we have the number right here. This is hemp-derived cannabinoid sales, right? Gummies for grown-ups. Hemp-derived cannabinoid sales in the U.S. They have gone up it's meteoric. You'd call it a meteoric rise. In 2023, we're up to almost $3 billion in sales from hemp-derived cannabinoids. Now, that's gummies, and that's vape pens, and there's some other things, but we're now a $3 billion market. So it's getting exciting. People are catching on, and they're realizing that, hemp-derived gummies, Delta-8, a little bit of Delta-9, some HHC, some CBD, some CBN, the alphabet soup of cannabinoids actually works. It makes a difference. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was something in the news. Chuck Schumer said today that looks like this Safe Banking Act is going to pass. And of course, everybody's wondering about whether the Biden administration is going to deschedule cannabis. There's going to be a lot of news coming out. It's looking pretty positive, although I don't know what'll happen with our current state of affairs, but it is looking positive. So we are excited about it. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about for a minute is what I've been talking to you about, and it's the labeling in gummies. This is a CNN article. It says, experts say Delta-8 THC products can still be dangerous. I mean, this is kind of clickbait stuff. It's not so much dangerous. It's just poorly labeled is what the article's about. A lot of the lab tests are not matching up to the labeling. So when we're at this show coming up, we're going to buy some products, have them tested, and take a look around, see what we find out. We've seen the studies, and it's troubling. Of course, Deltrium doesn't have that problem. We double-blind lab test all of our products. So that means we submit our products to 2 independent labs that have nothing to do with each other and don't know about each other. And when the results match up, we know what's inside. So we test our gummies for everything, but apparently not everybody's doing that, and that really should change. So we are going to be introducing our new blends. We have our Pinnacle blends coming out at the show. Our Pinnacle blends are literally, dare I say, the strongest gummies, legal gummies ever made. They're not for beginners. They're not light. They're kind of heavy. They're as heavy as they can be legally, and they're called Pinnacle blends. One is called Toasted Nano. The other one's called Baked. I've tried both, so have a number of other people, and we've enjoyed them. So they're going to be introduced at the show. We're also going to have Deltrium packaged in some smaller packages at lower price points. So you'll be able to look at 10 gummies in a pack instead of an entire jar. And we think that's also going to be important for the market. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. And I wanted to let everybody know, in case you're catching this podcast because you're going to the show, well, we'll be there. Look for Deltrium. Deltrium. Only Deltrium. You remember the line, right? So our Pinnacle blends, when I say they're the strongest legal gummies ever made, because, well, they are. I mean, the problem is that there are people out there playing what we like to call the milligram game. The milligram game works like this. You walk into a store and you see something and it says 1,000 milligrams. And then you go, there's another. What about the one that says 1,500 milligrams? And then sure enough, there'll be somebody saying 3,500 milligrams. And depending on the store you're in, there could be someone saying 5,000 milligrams. And I recently saw something I thought was actually hysterical. I think it was like 11 million milligrams, but I was wrong. Those are micrograms. It's 11 million micrograms. I've never even heard of a microgram. I don't know why we're playing this game in this industry. Let me tell you something so you know. More milligrams isn't giving you more effect. Does that sound strange to you? THC doesn't work like that. If you've ever tried THC cannabis, you know that you can smoke as much cannabis as you want and you won't keep getting higher and higher, right? I mean, you might fall asleep at a certain point, but it's not like alcohol, right? If you drink alcohol, let's say shots of tequila, all night long, you'll end up drunker and drunker until you're either in the emergency room with alcohol poisoning or you pass out somewhere on a sidewalk. It will get heavier and heavier. But THC doesn't work like that. Your body can only absorb so much THC. And after that, whatever else is in there is just going out through your kidneys, your liver, and so forth. It's not doing anything. So it doesn't matter that you have the most milligrams of something. And I'll give you an example of that. Our Soaring blend, Soaring has 15 milligrams of Delta-9. Now, it's still less than 0.3 to be compliant with the Farm Bill 2018 to be federally legal, but it has 15 milligrams of Delta-9. The difference is it also has 15 or 7.5 milligrams of THCV. THCV is another cannabinoid, but what it does is it increases what's called the bioavailability of the THC. So it only has 15 milligrams of THC, but because of the THCV, it feels like a lot more than 15. So Soaring with 15 milligrams of Delta-9 and 7.5 milligrams of THCV, among a few other things, will be much stronger than, say, a Delta-9 THC gummy with 50 or 100 milligrams in it. Because your body can't absorb 50 or 100 milligrams. It doesn't matter. It's the milligram game. They try to get you to pick the bigger number. It's not the bigger number that matters. It's what's inside with it. Straight THC, it's not as good. It's not as good. That's why people in the cannabis space always advertise live rosin and full spectrum. They're trying to tell you that just the THC alone is not as good as when you blend it with other cannabinoids. Okay? That's the magic, not the number of milligrams. And to give you an idea of why you don't see everybody using the products that Deltrium uses, the ingredients, I'll tell you something I just learned. A liter of Delta-8 is $400 or $500. A liter of Delta-9 might be $800, $900. And a liter of THCV is between $22,000 and $24,000. It's not just a little more, it's a lot more. And it does a lot, and it changes the effect. And people don't use it because they're making cheap products. That's why. Deltrium's not about that. We pick the ingredients that are the best, no matter what they cost. And although our gummies may not be the cheapest on the shelf, they're also far from being the most expensive based on what's inside. So if you want something effective, or you just want a big number on the package, that's why we call Deltrium gummies for grown-ups, because we know better. A big number isn't really what we're looking for. So stop playing the milligram game and, get educated on what's inside. Think about the milligram game like this. What if you walked into a bar and said to the bartender, "What's the strongest alcohol you have?" And he went, "Bacardi 151? And you're like, "That's all I want. That's all I drink is Bacardi 1. I only want the strongest. I want the most alcohol in my alcohol." Would anyone ever do that? I mean, who does that? We know better than that. We don't know better than that when it comes to cannabis products or hemp products or THC products. We keep thinking, I want the most milligrams. No, you really don't. You want the best effect. That's really what it's about. And that just isn't about buying the package with the biggest number on the front. It's a scam. It's not true. You want to know who plays the milligram game? Kids, right? Kids go in, they just want the strongest thing, right? That's why the kids probably want to drink Bacardi 151. But hopefully you and I are grown-ups and we've made enough mistakes with alcohol to know better. If somebody goes, "Hey, I got grain alcohol," you go, "Oh boy, I don't know if I even want to do that. I mean, I could have 3-4 glasses of wine would be fun, but I don't know about this." That's who plays the milligram game. Grown-ups have learned, probably by screwing it up a bunch of times, that we don't want to drink too much alcohol. We don't want to be as drunk as possible. We don't want to be as high as possible. None of those things. We want to be adjusted, feeling great, having a positive experience. We don't want to be down in the dump. Nobody wants to do that. That's what you do when you're a kid. So don't do it when it comes to this. It doesn't matter whether somebody has 5,000, 10,000, we can put 15,000 milligrams on something. It's doing nothing. So don't look for that. That's not what it's all about. Everything about Deltrium is different than what you see on the shelf normally. I'm not saying there are no other companies doing a good job. There are. But most of what you see out there isn't Deltrium, okay? First of all, our manufacturing process is, flawless. I mean, we've gone to incredible lengths to make sure that our gummies have equal distributions of all the different cannabinoids through there, that the way we manufacture them is the most high quality way they can be made. The materials that go into them are the highest quality materials that you can get. And then we double blind lab test the finished product. So we test the things along the way, and then at the end, we send them to 2 independent labs that don't know each other. There's no way for the fix to be in because they don't know each other. And then we get both lab reports and compare them. And if they don't match, we don't offer the product. You can check any of our products against any other lab testing. They don't match, we don't offer them. So our ingredients are right every time. You know what's inside. And you just can't say that about many other products that are on the shelf today. It's too bad.
Thanks for tuning in to Gummies for Grownups with your host, Martin Andelman, as we unwrap the world of THC gummies together. For the finest THC gummies for grownups, head over to Deltrium.com. Discover products designed with your needs in mind. Whether it's sleep, relief, or a boost of energy, Deltrium has you covered. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, when it comes to THC gummies, choose Deltrium. Only Deltrium.